Hi, hello. Welcome to another episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is August the 3rd, 2024. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. My Friday was very eventful. I had a really good time. But let me start at today, and we'll maybe work our way back a little bit. But today I came in. I came in a little bit later than I liked for my Saturdays, especially on a laundry day. Wound up hitting it around, I don't know, 12 or 1. So a little later in the day for that. But actually, no, it was a little bit earlier. I think it might have been 11 or 12. Yeah, because then I got Dunkin' Donuts for breakfast, and it was pretty good. Or maybe, what would we say, early lunch, brunch, whatever. I got a multi-grain bagel, and granted, I only got that because they didn't have the cinnamon raisin bagels anymore, but I was like, that's fine. I haven't had a multi-grain bagel in a while. Had that thing toasted with strawberry cream cheese, and then I got a 10 count of munchkins, so that was good. You know, the old donut holes. And then I got a large iced coffee with a shot of espresso, but clearly that is wearing off because I am feeling sleepy. But let's see here. That was breakfast, and laundry went well. No problems, no complaints. But yeah, last night, what did we do? I went out to Northside. Usually I go out on Saturday, but we went early. My friends were playing a show, so I was like, all right, I gotta go. So yeah, shout out to Sculptor. Y'all did great. It was a cool first show for them. It was cool to just hang out with my friends. But Food Corner from last night was pretty good. I went to Chameleon, and I got a stromboli. I see if I can pronounce it correctly there. Though my dumbass called it a fucking calzone because I'm stupid. I don't know. I had calzone on the brain, and I was like, yeah, it's a calzone, even though it's totally a stromboli. Anyway, with the I say pepperoni stromboli, a slice of cheese pizza, and an order of fries. Also, the person who brought it out, like, I guess he came back like in a second later to drop off another order, and he like saw me like just housing all this food. He's like, "Damn, man, you're killing it." I was just like, "Yeah," which is a thing that happens to me all the time. People are either astounded or horrified by my eating habits or the amount or the speed of which I can eat. It's always something. So yeah, apparently I'm a marvel, or I don't know, a horror. I'm not sure. I guess it depends on who you ask. Maybe I should start doing mukbangs. Maybe that's why I need to start, fundraising, setting up for. I don't know. Maybe that's my future. Just housing a bunch of food. Anyway, is there anything else I wanted to report in about? Oh yeah, a little bit of late night munchies. Had some what are they? The dumplings. Yeah, I had some like little dumplings, air fried dumplings, and some pierogies. So that was a cool way to close out the night. All right. All right, let's go ahead and do the startup. Let's get into some news. Let's talk about it. And yeah, I want to do my startup though first. How about that? How about that? Oh, I think I have a burp. Maybe not. No, I'm sure it'll come. Do not come. All right. Ooh, yeah, that was a good one. From The Hill. Turkey blocks Instagram access. Turkey's communication authority blocked access to Instagram on Friday. Another instance of the country tightening its grip on certain websites and social media. Turkey's Information and Communication Technologies Authority, which regulates the internet, announced Friday that it had restricted access to the site, the Associated Press reported. Local media and Instagram said Instagram was now blocked as part of a response to the site removing posts by Turkish users who expressed condolences over the recent killing of Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh, the AP reported. Turkey's Deputy Minister of Transport and Infrastructure, Omar Fatih Sayan, posted on social platform X that Western countries receive better response from service providers like Instagram when they have issues, and Turkey demands the same sensitivity and fairness. We want safe, clean, and fair content mechanism that these platforms offer in countries where they comply with their rules to be valid in Turkey as well. This double standard applied by providers is a common problem all over the world. And then Turkey's transportation and infrastructure minister Abu Kadir Urologlu said Instagram ignored sensitivities and was in a breach of serious crimes, including incitement to suicide, torture, obscenity, and more, the Associated Press reported. So, yeah, I found this to be an interesting development. I initially was like, oh, this seems like a really fucked up thing of censorship from Turkey. But, I mean, if it's for these reasons, then I feel like it's actually a censorship thing from Instagram. So, yeah, I mean, I hope that it does get resolved. And because, I mean, really, I feel like the victims here are just the people of Turkey who use Instagram. This is like maybe their form of social media they might favorite, and now they're locked out of it. Obviously, that just fucking sucks. So hopefully this gets resolved sooner than later, but I'll try to keep you posted there. Let's see here. From CBS News, Justice Department sues TikTok over alleged children online privacy law violations. So we're talking about all the social media today. The Justice Department filed a federal lawsuit against TikTok and its parent company ByteDance on Friday, alleging that the social media platform broke the law by collecting data on its young users. And the suit filed in the U.S. District Court for the Central District of California, the Justice Department alleged TikTok violated the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, as well as a 2019 agreement between TikTok and the Federal Trade Commission, or the FTC, over its practices toward children. The lawsuit, which stems from an FTC investigation, alleges that TikTok knowingly permitted children to create accounts and interact with adults on the platform since 2019. The company collected and retained personal information from the children without notifying or obtaining consent from their parents, the suit said. For years, defendants have knowingly allowed children under 13 to create and use TikTok accounts without their parents' knowledge or consent, have collected extensive data from those children, and have failed to comply with parents' requests to delete their children's accounts and personal information. The 31-page civil lawsuit said. It added that TikTok adopted and implemented inadequate and ineffective policies to stop children from creating general TikTok accounts and to remove those accounts when they were discovered. TikTok offers a kids mode. Is that what it says? Yeah, kids mode for users who say they're under 13. The version limits their interactions on the platform, including restricting messages with other users and the ability to create and upload videos. But the company does not notify parents or obtain consent for the restricted accounts, the suit said. The platform allows users to easily bypass the age restrictions when creating their accounts, the Justice Department alleged. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I can understand by the number how it's like, hey, TikTok is failing children here. They are not keeping children safe. But I feel like you could probably launch this against any social media app and they would be probably found in breach of this. They still have these same kind of issues because the safeguards that they put up to, quote unquote, protect children really do not do that, unfortunately. So yeah, I mean, I don't really know how TikTok mitigates that. I also don't know if this is one of those things where it's like, is this a part of the kind of full court press on TikTok because, they're trying to get it banned or at least force them to sell, ByteDance to sell. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's me being conspiratorial or speculative there. I don't know. But, I mean, obviously I get it. You want to make sure that the internet, these social media spaces are as safe as can be for children. I can't really relate having any kids, but I can understand why that is a top priority for people. But it often feels like it's like a political football for, politicians and stuff to use. So I don't know. Let's go ahead and continue. We're actually off the social media stuff. But from CBS News, Defense Secretary withdraws plea deal with 9/11 defendants. So a bit of an update here, a bit of a Uno reverse turnaround. A plea deal reached this week with the alleged mastermind behind the 9/11 attacks, along with two of his alleged accomplices, has been retracted, the Pentagon announced Friday. In a memo, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said that the three pretrial agreements approved with Khalid Shakith Mohammed, the man accused of planning the attacks, and Walid Muhammad Salih, Mubarak bin Atash, and Mustafa Ahmed Adam al-Hawasi had been rescinded. The memo was addressed to retired Brigadier General Susan Askaler, the convening authority for the military commissions who oversaw the deal. Austin wrote that he was withdrawing her authority in the case and reserving such authority to myself. So I guess he just pulled a maneuver and he's like, I'm outranking you, I'm handling it actually. And I'm calling it quits. But I mean, I guess it just kind of throws it back into limbo. I don't know, but I guess we'll continue on further. The military commission at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, on Wednesday sent letters sent to families of the nearly 3,000 people killed in the Al-Qaeda attacks and said the plea agreement stipulated the three would serve life sentences and not obviously get the death penalty. Some of the families of the attacks victims condemned the deal for cutting off any possibility of full trials and possible death penalties. Republicans were quick to fault the Biden administration for the deal, although the White House said after it was announced it had no knowledge of it, which I don't get how those kind of actions correlate, but I mean, hey, whatever. Plausible deniability. Maybe they really did just move it, and they're like, we don't know. But it does seem that action was made to say, hey, let's not go through with this. So another thing I was kind of thinking as I was even booting this up, maybe this is kind of related to the election. And it's like, hey, let's not ruffle feathers about this issue right now. It can wait until after November. But at the same time, it's like, this has been going on since 2008, since we got these guys and we're going to do the trial or whatever. And then, we revamped this shit right around COVID, try to get through it. And here we are in 2024. There's still no resolution on this shit. So I would think that there are some people who would like to just have this wrapped up. I can obviously understand for the prisoners, even though it's like, oh, they're terrorists, they don't deserve blah, 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 blah. Well, they do. They do have human rights. And the whole thing about a fair and speedy trial and shit like that, obviously that's been out the window since we've been talking about Guantanamo Bay. But no, apparently not. You're just going to have to sit a little longer, or who knows, maybe it's forever. That's another thing I was thinking is what if it's not holding it off to the election and then handling it then? Are you just going to have this is their fate? These three guys, they're just never going to get sentenced. There's always going to be like this. And I mean, I guess good, no death penalty, but then, that's not any justice for the families either. So I don't know. That doesn't feel like a resolution at all. So I'll see. I'm trying to keep you posted here. We got this update. And speaking of updates, we have one more thing I wanted to cover before I let you go. It's back to the boxing ring. It's back to the Olympics. So let's get into it. Well, I'm gonna take my last break, then we'll get into it. I woke up to this on my feet and I was like, oh yeah, we're definitely talking about this. From Reuters. Boxing group to award prize money to Carini despite loss to Khalif. Also, sorry for the typo on TikTok. I misspelled, and you can't fix it, so I just try to tweak it in the comments. It's hard out here. Anyway, the International Boxing Association, or the IBA, will award Italy's Angela Carini, who lost her welterweight round of 16 bout against Algerian Imaine Khalif at the Paris Olympics in 46 seconds on Thursday. 50,000 in prize money, it said on Friday. So essentially, she came out, got punched in the face, and just said, I can't do it. And now she's going to get $50,000 because they're like, oh, it wasn't fair. It wasn't fair. Which, it's insane to me. Carini pulled out of the first round after the Algerian, who is at the heart of a gender row, pummeled the Italian with a barrage of punches. The IBA, which was stripped of its international recognition by the International Olympic Committee, or the IOC, last year, said Carini would receive $50,000, her federation a further $25,000, and her coach an additional $25,000. I essentially feel like they're just doing this to stir the pot and add on to it and like get a chance to add commentary, which is fucking ridiculous to me. I do not understand why they killed women's boxing. IBA President Umar Krimlev said, only eligible athletes should compete in the ring for the sake of safety. I could not look at her tears. Oh, she cried so hard, and it's so sad. Like, but let's see here. I cannot talk. Algeria's Khalif and Taiwan's double world champion Lin Yuting were cleared to compete in Paris despite being disqualified at the 2023 World Championship after failing IBA eligibility rules that prevent athletes with male XY chromosomes competing in women's events. Really, essentially, they had too much testosterone in their system, according to the IBA, which is something that you can biologically have as a woman or as a man. You can have too much estrogen or whatever. These are all imbalances that are very natural. Essentially, they're like, oh, well, that makes you can't compete. It's too much of an advantage. And in these situations, it only became an issue when the person won. And essentially they're like, oh, well, maybe you're not a woman, actually, even though you've been this way your entire life. So it's crazy that people with like no real knowledge on this situation just immediately have been just coming in and barking and having a fucking opinion. I will say, though, even me, I definitely came in hard on Carini, and I have my reasons for that. We went into it. But she did issue an apology that I wanted to read. So in an interview with Italian Daily Gazzetta dello Sport published on Friday, Carini said she did not mean to stir up such a heated controversy. All this controversy certainly made me sad, and I also felt sorry for my opponent. She had nothing to do with it, and like me, was only here to fight, she said. It was not intentional, and in fact, I apologized to her and to everyone. I was angry because my games had already gone up in smoke. I have nothing against Khalif, and on the contrary, if I happen to meet her again, I would give her a hug. So, I mean, it's nice. It's a bit after the fact, but, we take an apology. But, I mean, I really take it back to the point, in the ring where it's like you lost, and instead of shaking your opponent's hand, you don't do that, which is just like, that's so fucking rude. And then just blah, 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 and then going off talking about how you're such a mature boxer. That felt counterintuitive to me. I didn't like it. But hey, that is what apologies are all about. You gotta kind of take that in stride and move on. Obviously, the likes of J.K. Rowling, Elon Musk, who I've mentioned before, have tried to champion on this issue that it's like, this isn't fair to women, even though, once again, we are talking about a fucking woman. So yeah, and then also that this is only being dramatic and people are only focusing on Khalif because she won. It's always this. But that being said, on the subject or topic of Khalif, she did beat her opponent, and now has she's certified for a chance at medals and has a chance at gold. So yeah, I mean, that's interesting. I might keep you posted at least on that since we've been so invested in boxing. Also, the opponent she fought was Hungary's Luca Anna Hamori. So yeah, she beat her. So yeah, there we go. I feel like that's it. That's really what I want to leave it for today. Let's see. If you'd like to help out, support the effort, I do have a Patreon, patreon.com/IsaiahNews. Let's see here. Free ways to hit me up, IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. Feel free to follow me or the podcast on any of the socials. Hopefully subscribe to the YouTube. Really helps out a lot. hit that like button, leave a comment, and sharing is caring. Hopefully I see you soon, though, for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.